Okay. Okay, now let's move on to our. Right. So let's move on to our main agenda for today. So now we will proceed with the fifth motion for today, titled Islamization Empowerment Efforts in IIUM. Propose. IIUM propose. And now I would like to invite Brother Ahmad Lutfi bin Muhammad Noor from Office of Islamization Student Development IIUM. Please welcome.
Alright. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. First and foremost, I would like to greet all members of the parliament, also the observer, the respected speaker and also deputy speakers, election commissions, KBS, MRC, and all distinguished IIM student union officers and also main board. Today, I will be bringing a motion which is called the Islamization Empowerment. Before I start, I would like to clarify on the background of Islamization Empowerment. Speaker with reverence, may I mix language? Malay?
Since we have international students, try to make it in English, and if you have difficulties in that, then you can.
Alright, sure, it's okay. I think I will make it, but there's certain words I'll be using in Malay. So for Islamization empowerment, what we see today is that there are a lot of breaches, especially on two main provisions that I have given in the group, which is the IIUM student dress code and secondly the IIUM student activity guideline and procedures. What are these breaches? These breaches are mainly on the IIUM student activity guideline and procedures, whereby certain programs or events are conducted in breach of this procedure. So what was this procedure? This procedure is a procedure or a guideline that has been enacted by the Senate Hall, and it was being effectively enforced on the 2023. That was the amendment, the most recent one, and that is what I'm using right now. And second of all, the IIUM dress code. IIUM dress code here is also passed in the Senate. And this dress code is a guideline on how we should dress and how students should dress about and mingle around. The problem that we face is that in terms of the dress code, what we see is that there are major problems going around in UIA. If it's only the issue of how how labo your scarf is, that's quite an issue. But the most pertinent issue that we are taking right now is the issue that there are some of our students who are men dressing like women, and women dressing like men, and also students who are wearing too tight of clothing, which entice others. And it is something shameful because each and every time I go to represent the university to any program by the MPP, Majlis Perwakilan Pelajar and anything, everyone would say UAE is the role model for Islamization. And I would say only in my heart that I think you have to ask again to that person. But I always say to them, yes, inshallah, we will be the role model of Islamization. That is what we have to preserve from the days of our alumni that we have done. The alumni have done and everything. We do not want to taint our name by being the generation that will stop or make this worsen. Let us actually do something. So what I propose next. So okay. So these kind of IIUM dress code are the things that we want to cater. We want people. The two main things is we want people men to dress like men, women to dress like women, and to not wear extravagant dresses that entice others. I believe here in this hall, there's no dress that is not in accordance with the Sharia. I think everyone is okay. It's okay to beautify yourself, to handsomeize yourself and everything, but it must be in accordance with the laws and with the rules and with the Sharia. So secondly is the problem in regards to IIM student guidelines and procedures. A lot of times we, the Office of Examination and Student Development, under our office, we have a sub-council called the IIUM Council, which is a council with all the president of clubs like PKPM, Harmony, and everything. We get a lot of complaints and a lot of breaches, and we have to react each time there is a breach. We don't want to become a council, or we don't want to act in our tenure as someone that we want to respond when there is damage in the Facebook, in the Instagram. We want to stop it before it actually happens. So that's why, next, we propose that there be a terms of reference. Okay, what is a term of reference? A term of reference, we call it as a TOR, is a contract between all three entities or societies here, which is the KBSC, Kuliah Society, MRCC, and IIM Student Union. What I am proposing is for us to make a TOR in regards to this provision on how we want to uplift this provision. One of the things that we will discuss in this TOR is the repercussions of any breach. Because if you see in the IIUM Student Activity Procedure and Guideline, in the whole of Malaysia, I asked MVP from UM, KM, I just saw the speaker of KM, UKM. All USM, UTM, UPNM, UM, and everything, they do not have any breach or any laws in regards to how you want to remedify any breach that people do in the concert or everything. Either they are going to subject it to penalties or financial fines or anything. There are none. There are none. So that,
yeah, time is up.
all right. If I will give you 1 more minute, please.
2 minutes.
All right. Thank you. So that is why we need to have a term of reference between us, so that one of it is for us to discuss on the repercussions that we will do in any breach. Secondly is to ensure that the organization acts or do activities or events in accordance with the two provisions. Why I'm enforcing this on you guys as student leaders is because in a lot of time, we are presidents, we are students, there are presidents here in front of me, there are also officers. Most of the time, you are the ones who are going to review the proposal and then discuss it within your organization. So that is why it is pertinent for us to ensure and inquire from the program manager that such things should be applied, which is the IIUM dress code and also the IIUM student activity and procedure. Why? Because we don't want any more of these things happening. And we want for us to have a legal justification if any of this happens. If there becomes any breach, then we can say that we have done by the term of reference, we have abided by the rules, but things still happen. So what can we do lah? Kata tak di Allah kan? But you have to have a legal justification rather than you don't have a legal justification. That is why we need to have the term of reference. And the third is to empower or to highlight your Islamic wing, to give them the right to advise in regards to dress code and also to advise in regards to the student activity guideline and procedure, and not only to advise actually, but to ensure that these procedures are actually followed in any consideration of a program. So I believe that's all from me. This motion, I know some of us ada tenure yang 3 lagi 2 bulan, like me myself, not so long. But it is this motion is not for Lutfi or it is not for me per se, but it is for the students. So I want this to persist when we are not here anymore. Okay.
Thank you, Brother Lutfi. Now we move on straight to the debate session. Anyone?
Masa would like to speak.
Okay.
I would like to ask on the bindingness of the terms of reference, because you mentioned, from your understanding, terms of reference are sort of contract, which definitely will give rise to legal obligation or right to sue, isn't it? So from my understanding, terms of reference is not binding, and for example, for LOSOC, we actually received invitation from MMU LOSOC to sign MOU. So for that purpose, you need to undergo OLA and so on. So what about the terms of reference you are suggesting?
Yes, thank you, Sister Nakila from LOSOC. In terms of the bindingness, we actually want to go more than the term of reference. For example, go into the Constitution. But this cannot be done because we still have things for us to discuss, especially on the student activity guideline. There are no repercussion provisions. That is why it is still in the bracket or in the level of term of reference. It is binding on us, and we must make sure when we discuss in the future on the term of reference how we're going to make it binding upon us. But as for now, there is nothing such of it. So we need to create and we need to discuss based on this term of reference that will be made.
Anyone else?
I'm Saz. I'd just like to understand. So basically, this term of reference is to provide repercussions or consequences in terms of breaching the dress code and whatnot. So coming from
Sorry, not ICT, ISD.
ISB. Okay, coming from ISB, as you know, let's say today the presidents understand this term of reference. By next year, there will be a change of tenure. So will ISC provide perhaps a briefing every tenure or whatnot, just to talk about the sustainability of your term of reference and your initiative?
Yes, thank you, Sister HK from MSS. So in regards to your question, obviously, of course, in ISD, we will ensure that that this is sustainable for all ages, for all the tenures. Because we know in this university degree, our career starts at January, ends at December. Okay, without money and everything. But it's okay. It's something we take to serve the students. So we will ensure in the term of reference that we will discuss on how we will ensure that this is to become sustainable. One of the things we can put in our implementations, if I may suggest, is to make it binding by law, and that this will concern other things such as perhaps the constitution or anything. But this is still subjected to discussion, because I don't want to say here constitution, because you guys are also subjected to the AGM. That is why we need to have this term of reference first. We discuss, but I need the parliament today for us to agree, for us to have this term of reference and start the beginning of such efforts, inshallah.
Okay, anyone else?
Last one, like to speak.
Also.
So you mentioned that there will be terms of reference in which most parties will be in agreement, right? But then for the on our proposal, it mentioned that any breaches must be self-borne and must be remedied. So from my understanding, the way the society would like to counter or respond if there is any breaches would be up to the discretion of the society, right? So is there, in terms of the terms of reference, would there be some sort of limitation or custody on part of that to avoid abuse of how to respond to that? For example, if IRKHS put stricter imposition, but LOSOC, we think that imposing fine is very sufficient. So how would you respond to that?
Yeah, okay. First of all, what is meant by self-bond, if the society, when they are considering the proposal or the event, they did not refer to both the provisions. I'm not particularly sure if there is any kuliah from political science in India. Okay, I don't think so far. But I'm not saying political science only but there are certain cases whereby after the damage has been done, baru they don't refer to the provision. So now that is self-bond. But if you refer to the provisions before, and then the organizer still did something that is unprecedented and unplanned, then obviously you're not liable to be self-bond. You'll be supported by the members of the term of reference too. But in terms of, let's say, IRKHS wants to do a stricter rule, and you guys want to do a more lenient rule, then that is why we need to have the term of reference, and we need to discuss the term of reference in the future. Because we need to harmonize these things. We need to harmonize what is meant by Sharia compliance. One of the things that we must also discuss is the meaning of Sharia compliance. Because I understand that Sharia compliance is within every, so some people have their constitution, but how you define that? Some people say tudung, wearing niqab is Sharia compliant. Some say, wearing niqab is not Sharia compliant. So what is actually the meaning of Sharia compliance? Such as in the Federal Constitution Article 3, we see that Islam, what is the meaning of Islam? Islam is only correlating with the adat and istiadat orang Melayu. So that is why we have to also define this, define what is Sharia compliance, where I suggest that Sharia compliance is supposed to be anything that is in accordance with the IIUM dress code and the IIUM student activity guideline and procedure. Because if you guys really operate this provision, it's really lengkap. But we need the student to support this, because so far there has been no discussion on this before. Resulting in many breaches, rampant breaches.
Okay, anyone else before I open to observers? Okay, Raj.
You all must be thinking apa mama ni figure macam Islam so basically why IMSU we discussed this beforehand on bringing this motion is because there is laws, there is already clauses, there is already articles everywhere saying that you should be Sharia compliant and everything. But there is no one that unites all three bodies, student bodies, especially KDC and RCC, and also student union. All of us have our own articles and our own clauses. So number one. And we have faced actually quite a lot of cases, complaints in the last couple of years. If you realize, program Raya lah, Tajari Kilat, Joget Sekali, concert, tongue face, and all of this. So, saya tak ada balik. So jadi, the problem is there. And what we are suggesting is not just another additional law in order to make it redundant. We understand if there is any thought of that, dia memang dah ada, kita pun tambah lagi law. Kita pun ada, we actually argued on this very intense in INSU sebab there is no point of having law which you won't implement at the end of the day. Sebab the core is to implement the law that you have, because even now we have to implement. Tapi we believe that the law that we make shall be binding to all three of us so that we can cooperate better and one can help each other lah on who will jaga the Sharia part of any program conducted and such. I think the emphasis will be given after we pass this motion, inshallah, when you all discuss the task force on the implementation. So it's not important, I just have to highlight this, it's not important during the approval of the program to say, yes, you shall be Sharia compliant, okay, I'll be Sharia compliant. But it's more important in the implementation. During the program, somebody has to be there to make sure that everybody takes care of the Islam, people who come and dress well and everything. So this part is only the beginning. It's only just the first part. The main part is you have to discuss in the task force, how do we ensure that there are always student leaders managing every program and actually implementing all the laws that I've already talked about. So that's it.
Okay, thank you, Brother Viraj. Observers, do you have anything to add? Okay. Now we move on to the voting session. Please raise up your hands if you vote in favor of this motion. Please. Sabar sikit sikit lagi. Total approved 57. So I think that everyone voted for yes, so no need for vote for reject lah. Okay. So the result of the Islamization empowerment efforts in IIUM is approved with the total of 57 approved, 0 reject and 0 abstain. Now we move on to the next motion, motion number 10, which titled Request to open the Office of Disability Service Unit, DSU, in the Adil IIUM campus. Thus, I would like to invite Brother Muhammad Shazrul Ilha bin Muhammad Shwadi from the Ibnu Maktoum Club. Please. Okay, sure. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Al. I'm from IIUM Chicago, representing for Chicago here. So the motion is to open. The motion is to open DSU office in other campuses. As you know, DSU office is a very important office and a part of community engagement office. It deals with students with wide range of disability, from physical, mental to learning disability, which is what I am. I'm a student with learning disability. My needs differ from students with physical disability. I can walk right now, but what I need is someone who can help me teach me during class. Comparatively different from someone who have eyesight disability, which is Sophia. Can you give an example? So you have eyesight disability, your eye problem. Sophia have vision impairment, which is different from other disability. So hence, with many issue arises, we require one single office to help manage us in a way or assist us in our daily needs. Not just daily needs, our academics, our social, and even our community engagement. Okay, I already say all this part. Next one. Grounds for consideration. Okay, if I remember correctly, SU or UIA has signed a Person with Disability Act 2008, article number 18, article number 18. So we as a university are responsible to our stakeholder, which is the students. And since we signed this agreement, it's unfair for us not to open other office. And also, like I said, it's overseeing the students' welfare, facility, and stuff that can assist students. Right now, if I ask you, how can you assist me? Can anybody answer? No, because you're not trained for that. And how do I know you're not trained for it? Because you're not from DSU. But staff from DSU are able to assist me with my needs. And not the staffs. DSU, we have a thing we call buddy system. Buddy system can only be done if there's a formal club like IMAC. But to open an IMAC, we require a prerequisite, which is DSU. Okay, that's ground for consideration. Can you move to the next slide? Implementation. Okay. Number one, students' welfare will be taken care of. What do I mean by student welfare? Okay, I don't know if you guys know this, but student OKU in Malaysia studies for free until degree. From the primary school, secondary school, diploma and degree, students with OKU card, like this one, let me show you. Like this one, as long as I'm registered with DKM, I can study for any university in Malaysia as long as government for free. But to do that, the government requires a support letter from university. And like I said, all this official documentation can only be issued by the DSU office. So how can students study in Pago without a proper DSU office to give them document? This is one thing that happens to me. Last semester, did you guys know that my name is not in Pago system? Mrs. Castellan? No, you don't know. When I try to check my name, it's in Gombak, under DSU Gombak. Why do I say it's a problem? Because when I go to clinic, my matric number is invalid if I go to Pago Polyclinic. Okay? I have to use my IC card. Does that mean I'm not a student? No, I'm a student. It's an error that happens because we don't have a proper office over there. And this is a fact. Pago only has one DSU officer that has three things to do. Oh, sorry. She is the DSU officer, she's the transportation officer, and she's the inter-staff officer. Now let me ask you this. Can one person handle three jobs effectively? No. So when one person cannot handle three jobs, how can one person handle three jobs and have to assist people with disability who have a problem navigating real life? I'm telling you right now, you may need 1 hour for your exam. I need more than that. I need 1.5 hours for my exam. So implementation, yes, we will have a DSU, facility will be managed by properly, because why? Right now, Pago has one crucial problem. We have one student who have physical disability, who can't walk, but we don't have enough ramp to assist him. For Gombak, you might not see it because you guys have the luxury of proper, I would say proper DSU, proper disability facility. But for Pago, we don't have that because we don't even have a proper office to manage or give suggestion of how to improve. To the point that one of can I request for 2 minutes? To the point that one of the DSU, Prof. Rosita, if you guys know Prof. Rosita, the one with the wheelchair, she has to come to Pago and assist them in a way, like gives suggestion. Okay, next slide. Propose mechanism, like I said, open DSU, add more staff management, establish IMAC. Okay, this is a very important thing. For you, if you don't know, IMAC and DSU, we have our separate funding. We don't share with MRC, we don't share with Kuliah, we don't share with SU. Why we have separate funding? Because the government of Malaysia indicated that Kementerian Kebajikan Syarikat dan Wanita have allocated around, have allocated ample money for people with disability. And if you guys come to Iftar China OKU, I think Ali was there, we were given by the Ministry of Higher Education 5,000 ringgit for IMAC Club to be allocated amongst ourselves. The problem is that it's not about the amount of money. It's the amount that the money will not get to Pago student because there's no IMAC in Pago. There's no IMAC in Pago. There's only a representative, which is I am, who deals with everything. And we only have one officer who are unable to do everything efficiently. So like I said, this is the proposed mechanism. If you can see, it's very simple, straightforward, open the SU, then this. Okay, this is the people that will be involved. Number one, DSU Gombak. Of course, Gombak is the central head. Number two, Office of Deputy Rector. Why do we involve Office of Deputy Rector? Because as I said, IIUM and 3 other universities, it's the few universities signed the United Nations SDG. Now, the second university is University Malaya, UPM, and the newest addition is UPSI, who have our own disability center. So yes, the deputy rector are very involved. Ahmad, because why I say Ahmad, like I said, my name is not in Pago system. I have to come here last semester to remove my name from Gombak and transfer it to Pago, which is a hassle for me. Thank you very much. And Sejahtera Center, lastly. Okay, thank you very much. That's all from me. I open this floor for any question for implementation or anything.
Whether it's my job to.
Sorry.
Okay, I can hear you. Who have any concern regarding the proposal?
Right, thank you. Adik from Keslet, Pago. Alright, so I'm very, very grateful for L voice is out for Pago community and Kuantan also, because it's the proposal for Kuantan as well.
Yes.
In Gambang campus. So this is very good starter for us, for 3. And then, like he said, Prof. Rosita, I personally told Prof. Rosita when the workshop for student leaders. After that, maybe after 2 weeks, she came to Pago without any notice. Yeah, morning in notice, Adik, we are going to Pago. So that's it. Because of that, I am as a Pago and Kuantan and another campus. We should agree for this. That's the first thing. Second thing, we as the student leaders, we don't have data about who is the DSU students. So maybe this thing is maybe in the consideration after this. And the last but not least, what happened, the things that happened in the beginning of the semester. So I want to clarify that I'm not yet the president of that time. So it's not my blame, but we as this thing, Pago, we have almost 11 students. So,
No, 8. 3 of them graduated.
So 8 of student DSU, in Kuantan pun almost in 12. So I think it's a very compulsory for the virtual or for the time lah untuk masa yang akan datang. So thank you. I would like to add welfare from Pilar. Okay, basically I would like to add the fact lah mentioned by Brother tadi from KLRS. So just few months ago, we from MSU we went to disability services unit, and then we asked for the statistics or data for the numbers of students with disabilities. So as for now, the numbers of students with disabilities for whole campuses, meaning like including Pago, Kuantan, and also Gombak, and also if I'm not mistaken, including Gambang, yes. So the total of numbers is around 103, including all types of disabilities. So that's all I'm going to add. Okay. Besides, may I? For the ability, okay, for the staff, the bilangan of staff in Pagong is very sedikit. SDCE punya staff yang macam Dr. Akmal Huzairi, only 5% untuk jaga 1,600 student. So maybe for this request to open the office, kita as the leaders, SU, MASC and others, MRCC, we fight for penambahan of staff juga. Depending siapa yang ada connection with the minister or anything else, to be asked to them about these things. Okay, itu satu. Secondly, about RAM, I forgot to talk about that. RAM, Pago, yes, it's a problem. Until I told to Dr. Rosita about this problem, then Dr. Rosita told, if you know any engineering or engineer or mana-mana yang boleh buat RAM ke apa semua, just tell us, kita guna duit kita sendiri dulu untuk alih buat anything else ataupun buat sendiri dulu yang sementara. So this thing yang kita as student leaders kena ambil tahu dan have to know about this about this matter. Yeah, thank you.
I would like to give you inquiries regarding the motion. Firstly, on the motion of request to open the DSU office itself. As the current status quo of our university, the DSU unit currently be put under Office of the Director, so ODRCCE. So yeah, that is the current status of DSU. DSU is put under ODRCCE, under the purview of ODRCCE. And basically to open an office in other locality, which is Kuantan and Pago, I believe DSU is not only consists of their stakeholders are not only the disabled students, but also disabled staff and their children sometimes as well. So basically, I think to make this proposal more strong, you have to put some ground of consideration in terms of the capability of opening this office itself, because I believe, I'm not sure, maybe Ali can highlight on specifically on Kuantan and Pago itself, how many disabled students we have. And in terms of IMAC, particularly in Kuantan, so IMAC currently only have Iboma, right? In Kuantan, basically we already have IMAC before, but during the previous student affairs committee meeting, with mentioned by Prof. Akmal, the IMAC club has been dissolved because due to inactiveness of the club itself. So yeah, okay. So these are my concerns if we were to bring this proposal. I think that this proposal is okay. However, we have to look into the capability of UI itself, because to open this DSU is totally under discretion of Korea CCE. Yeah. So that's all.
Okay. Welfare Kuantan, because of speak.
Alright, thank you. So, a reminder to the president not to steal points from the other deputy. Yeah. Right. So, as true what Brother Mutasi said, but before that, I do applaud the initiatives coming from the Nyomi Matun Club. To me, disabilities aren't something we should take very minimally on. And in my personal capacity, I strive to find the best in catering the issue. Because even last year, when I held the Office of Welfare in National Union, one of the initiatives that we did was establish a specific office in the union, a department or office, apologies, to cater on that issue. But however, the issue in Kuantan is, I would say, very drastic. As you can see, from last year, I think the data up to 2023 is around only approximately 10 students who have disabilities. And personally, when we were in Taaruf committees, usually we do have a screening to help identify students who do have disability issues. And firstly, we did cater towards a student who had mild scoliosis. And of course, these are issues which can't be resolved unless we get to know them. However, in issue where students are not really that involved, and to that extent, hence, that's what Brother Mutan said, the President has mentioned, the abolishment of IMAC itself in Kuantan. Sadly, the IMAC club itself used to live and thrive. However, the current status quo, it is non-existent. And in Kuantan itself, there is somewhat of a budget cut in most departments. Right now, we have issues in cutting transportation costs, we're cutting on office costs, especially on the staff. So the issue coming from Kuantan, I would see, if we were to propose this to management, is that they will raise the issue of catering to the cost of the staff who will be proposed. So, if for me, at the current moment, I do not have any particular suggestion, but I do hope that if any other members of parliament will give a highly good suggestion for to cater this issue, considering it is a management issue. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, may I speak?
Can I give you to speak first?
Okay, thank you. So, for those who that handle the slide, can you turn to the page for the proposed mechanism? Okay, so as we mentioned by Mutasir also Brother Adib, we already have the IMAC before in your Kuantan, but due to the discontinuity of that club, therefore the club has been dissolved. But as being stated here, there's a 4 initiatives that have been proposed by the IMAC, like the open the SU office, the other campuses, add more staff for the management purpose, establish IMAC in the other campus, and everything else so on. Is it possible that one of the requirements of this mechanism is not being fulfilled? Is it still can be manageable by the IMAC by the center, like the Gomba or the Kabu? There's going to be, if say there's going to be a DSU office in Kuantan, but there's no IMAC representative at the Kuantan. Is it possible for that?
I am IMAC representative for Kuantan. I realized that before this IMAC in Kuantan is very active, but after when COVID, we not very active. Even in Gomba, IMAC not active during, and this tenure we want to rebuild back in Gomba, in Pantai, and we want to add in Bago for the student and disabled students in Kuantan that not really, like we said, not really engaged with the SU office. It is because the SU student in Kuantan, young disability is not that severe, but it doesn't mean that they didn't need help. They think they get independent. I asked them personally, what do you want? What do you need? Do you need help in anything? They say they don't respond at all because they can handle it by themselves. Even I don't know all disabled students in Kuantan, so I think it is important to have this group because we want to gather all students.
If I could propose on the proposed mechanism, can add. I believe we all here, we want to do our best to actually help our disabled students community in whichever campus. I think we have to look into the most capable part that we can do on our capacity as a student. I would like to propose a suggestion in terms of establishing IMAC in other campus too, because if you know, IMAC in Kuantan already been abolished. So it's just a matter of you just revive IMAC itself in Kuantan. So, okay, so I think in terms of what IIUM Union, KBSC, MRTC, and other members of parliament here can help is we all can agree to actually start educating and advocacy about the establishment of IMAC and the disabled community itself. Because I believe if you want to be part of IMAC main board itself, you don't have to be disabled. You can be a normal student. And you can be a normal student to be a part of IMAC club. And IMAC main function, you can go wider into just other than you cater into disabled community in IIUM, you can go wider because it's just community engagement, no? So we can go wider than that. So help the community as a whole. And I believe this is
on student capacity, I think this is the most feasible part for us to do as a student. And to open DSU office, I think I assume we can help in terms of bringing this paper together with Proposita maybe from DSU to actually bring this paper to all the other city for us to start to consider to establish an office in other localities as well.
Okay, thank you very much. But do you mind if I answer each of the inquiries one by one? Can I do that?
Yeah, before that, can I get a clarification whether what is the amendment motion that you want to propose? To revise IMAC or to have a collective voice to support this motion? Okay. So basically, can you propose on the amendment that should be made? Because, okay, let me clarify something. Because this is not our jurisdiction, we don't have the power to open another office. That's the power of IIUM. What we can do is to push or to have a collective voice to propagate this to IIUM. So that's why I need a clear motion on your behalf that you can propose to us in order for us to vote later.
Okay. May I answer now? Okay. I will first answer that question before yours. Number one, can we make an amendment to this proposed mechanism? Yes, we can. Like you said, IMAC in Kuantan, sadly, it's dead. So but can we have a DSU office? Yes, no problem. I can make amendments to that. And for Pago, maybe we don't have the proper staff or the amount of staff. So maybe we can propose to instead open a proper IMAC instead of just a DSU office. We already have one officer. Maybe we can, this is according to proper, sorry. Sorry, this is according to proper, this Rosita suggestion is that we open IMAC Pago chapter. Same constitution, same vision and vision, just it's another chapter. Instead of a new organization, new club itself, number one. So, in terms of revising the motion, how about we just say that proposing to open IMAC other campus chapter? Sounds good, everyone? Okay. And for the other offices, I know it's beyond your jurisdiction to open other office. But as I said, we are meant to open IMAC, open another IMAC club, Pago chapter, Kuantan chapter, and Gambang chapter. But we start with Pago first, as it's the one easiest. And I can promise you one thing, for as long as I am here, IMAC Pago will not die.
So can we just continue with the vote? Before we vote for the whole motion to be accepted, yeah, I give you 2 minutes.
Bismillah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so basically, I hope my team, IIUM Pago, fully committed with to open the office of DSU in Pago, because I think this is the time to acknowledge all the problems regarding to the disability student, people with disability student in Pago. So, but I think my team, IIUM Pago, has done our best to cater all the needs of disability students. So I would like to clarify to all the members of parliament, because I think Office of Welfare have done their best to advocate and also to engage with these other students in terms of to cater their needs. So, but my personal capacity and also IIUM fully committed to give the chance and to open IMAC and also DSU in Pago campus. That's one.
Mr. Speaker, welfare. Okay, 1 minute. I would like to add one more thing, in this my opinion. So I think we should support this motion because we are requesting to open another DSU or whatever either unit office that we use later. I think it's not a matter only we make another office there, but then somehow for those students who wish to study this, it meant for them as the second home for them. Because as you know, for the same student, they have low self-esteem, so they cannot just mingle with anyone they just met and so on. So at least if we we support this motion, and then we provide them another office, DSC office in every localities. So at least they are close. They know where to go if there's something to go lah. Something to some sort like that lah. Okay, so I think that's all lah.
Mr. Speaker, I have just 2 more sentences. 2 sentences. Okay. So, as mentioned earlier about the IMAC club, it's not just for the students we have already enrolled, it's also for the upcoming students. So, if we don't, obviously when PWD student tries to join IIUM, they will look at what can they get from it, especially IMAC club and services they get from it. So as of now, you might not have any student who require the help of IMAC club, but in future there might be someone who needs it. But when they come to join IIUM, they might not have an IMAC club. So I think it's very important when we vote. It's very important for us to have an established IMAC.
I'm Haris from Pago. So I hope that all the members Parliament can give a good support to this motion, because it will be a good start for other initiatives as well. As for Pago, we have proposed a lot of initiatives for disabled students like walkway, ramp and whatsoever. So I hope that with the start of this initiative promotion, we can have other initiatives done as well for disabled students.
Okay, the last one from the water content. So, pertaining to the issue of the IMAC has been said that in content. Okay, this is one of my idea of the proposal. You can take it or not. You can revive the IMAC in content, but it's my suggestion. Put it as a collaboration work as a department under Office of Welfare for the Kuantan locality. Therefore, the continuity of the IMAC itself can be pertained by the office member of the SU. So as long the SU is relevant, therefore the IMAC will become relevant. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you. For Kuantan, we have to remember one thing. Special Kuantan and Pago is very different from environment. Let's be frank. Pago is our students. We have free times and we have ability to conduct program and engagement. It's within our course communication. For Kuantan, they have a separate thing. So I agree with Kuantan and Welfare Officer suggested. We should contribute. We should integrate into Kuantan Welfare IMAC into Kuantan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Now we'll continue with the first vote, which is vote for the amended proposal, which titled request to open another chapter of IMAC in other IIUM campus. Now I would like you all to raise your hands if you agree with this proposal. Okay, this seems majority. So now we move on to, you can put down your hands. Okay, now we move on to the vote of the whole motion. Please raise up your hands if you agree with the motion, the amended version of the motion. Please, yes. Okay, tadi vote for the amended proposal. So sekarang vote to accept the amended proposal.
Ini ya semayang tak dari pagi tadi, kau tak faham.
So basically macam ini sekarang, apa dia dah kerja lain lah. Macam tu.
Semayang tadi dia bagus sekali.
Can I ask a question? Ke nak ubah question?
Siapa?
Sorry.
Kurang aja.
So basically, the amended version will implement the proposed mechanism 3 in which we're going to establish IMAC in other campuses, right?
Yes.
Does that also include proposed mechanism 4 to increase funding for IMAC or only 3?
Okay, so far, what I think we can get from this amendment is that first, some places require the SU more than IMAC, while other places require IMAC more than the SU. We do that as we see fit. And as for funding, Don't worry about it because IMAC has its separate funding. As I told you recently, we've been given 5,000 ringgit from the Ministry of Higher Education as a form of great raya from Menteri during iftar sign off. Thank you, Ali. Love you.
Okay, everyone, please, due to restriction of time, raise up your hands if you vote in favor of this motion, please.
Total approved 59.
Now raise up your hands if you reject the motion. Okay, 0. Abstain? Okay, no one. So now the result of the request to open another chapter of IMAC in other IIUM campus is approved with the total of 59 approved, 0 reject and 0 abstain. Now we move on to the last, not last motion, motion 11, titled Improve the Physical Accessibility for Disabled People Around Campus Area. So now I would like to again invite whether Ishak, okay, to present his proposal.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for giving me a chance to speak today. First of all, I want to greet all of you, the honorable speakers and deputy speaker, the fellow member of parliament. So this is the title of our motion, which is to improve the physical accessibility in IIUM campus. Okay. So I want to bring forward this motion as a result after considering the needs of the person with disabled in our campus. So, for your information, physical accessibility is one of the needs one of the needs of a person with disabled, and to explain more what is the physical accessibilities. Actually, the physical accessibilities is the access to the building, public area, restaurant, toilet, and all the venue in this campus. Can you move the slide? Okay, this is the introduction. Okay, so this is the basically the problem. So I provide the picture here. I don't want to provide any statistic or so on, because to clarify, to make to clear this issue, to give you some image of this issue. As you can see, the picture in the middle, exactly it is the tactile. Do you know tactile? Yes. Okay, so the picture showed that the tactile is not properly made. It's just like just fulfill the what we said, just penuhkan syarat, just like that. Then the picture at the right show that along the walkway there's no tactile. So this is cause the difficulty for blind people, especially to move around the campus. So if you notice when you walk around the campus, how many places got tactile? Very little, isn't it? Yeah, you can just count with your finger. person want to move around the campus. For example, to go buy food at the cafe, and very important thing, to go to class every day. So imagine that. Same goes to the ramp provided for the wheelchair user. The problem is the ramp is not follow the specification, the proper specification. So to clarify this, I want to highlight 3 words here. First, accessible. What does it mean? Accessible means that the place, the venue, is accessible for the person with disabled to go to that venue. Secondly, usable. Whether the facility is usable or not. And the last one is safety. Whether the facility provided is safe for disabled or not. Okay, you can move the slide. So this is the outcome, the implementation actually. But this is the I want to highlight about the outcome after this thing will be implemented later. So the important one is to avoid unwanted accident. So if the facilities provided is not proper, it might cause trouble for disabled. Imagine someone with wheelchair fall down from his or her wheelchair. Imagine someone blind person walk then fall on the stairs. I know you can imagine because you don't feel it. Try to close your eyes, try to sit on the wheelchair, then you move around. And try to fall, basically. Okay. Then, yeah, that's it for them. I don't want to explain more. And I think the important one is to make IIUM the place that accessible for disabled. So we want to, may I request for extra time? 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay. So we want to make IIUM the university, the number one university that accessible for the person with disabled, including student and staff. Okay, then move on. Okay, this is the mechanism. This is also an important part of this slide that I want to emphasize. If you see the left one, I write it there, improve the existing facilities. I highlighted the word improve because somebody will question me back that the facilities is already there, but I want to emphasize the word improve because what the facilities that had been provided are not properly follow the specification. For example, ramp. The ramp is too high. Okay. Then the second one is to increase more facilities, of course, because if you notice, some place they got the facilities, but the other place they don't have. So if you ask disabled person, actually they cannot move totally around the campus. They just can go for certain place. So it might cause problem when there was the program organized in that place, but didn't provide proper facilities. So how can they go to that place? How can they join the program? Okay, next. So this is this is the related office involved. So I wish for your vote to support this motion, and together we express our care to disabled person. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now we move on to the debate session. Anyone?
Ready? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm from KAET. Okay, so in like to support the motion, firstly is I'd like to suggest that the in terms of the implementation would have to be detailed planning and also supervised. This is because this kind of motions tend to be taken lightly. So the implementation, there's possibility of it being taken lightly, and also as the brother suggested that it has to be in accordance to the the rank can't be too high. As we can see that once I can't remember which university, they had the demonstration of how the wheelchair goes up, and then the one in the wheelchair went backwards. So yeah, it is important to have someone to supervise, and in specific is someone related to building construction. And I must suggest maybe in KAET we have Professor Dato' Sri Architect Dr. Asia bin Ibrahim, in which she is specialized in accessibilities of persons with disabilities, or PWD. And secondly, I would like to add is that as a student of architecture, we learn a specific topic of universal design, in which it is to cater both person with non-PWDs, and also the person with disabilities. So I like to suggest that in implementing the motion, we have to cater both non-PWDs and also PWDs. The design will need to be PWD friendly, not PWD oriented. What is the difference between two of those is which PW friendly is non-PWD can use, and also PWD can use it easily. But PWD oriented is in which we change the design of the building, and it will cause disruption for the non-PWD, in which in our case is usually the non-PWD is majority, whilst the PWD is minority. I am not suggesting that we should not go on with the motion, but I'd say that we have to take consideration of both PWDs and non-PWDs, and that's all for me.
Okay, thank you, Architect. Next. ISD, I would like to ask, based on your slides here, I see that everything is quite perfect, top-notch and everything, whereby there's quite problems in terms of the infrastructure, but we must concede to the fact that these all concern financial aid, and also as in UAE, we are always acted on the existing financial constraints. So if we get the full support of the parliament today, of all the student leaders, may I know where this support, let's say if we get 59, this support will be given to? Are you going to propose to the admins to aid financially on these infrastructures, or are you going to go to companies to get perhaps certain funds to help out infrastructures in UAE? Because I think the continuity of this and the financial aid is much important rather than the what needs to be changed.
I would like to give my opinion on this.
Can we let him answer the question addressed by first? Okay.
Okay, I would like to answer the question regarding the financial, how can we basically, to do the construction, we need the financial support, right? Isn't it? So, basically, we can search for a sponsor to collect more budget. Yes, I aware that this implementation might impact financially, but if this will be implemented, then the more person with disability will come and study here. It might increase funding, one thing, and lower the tax that had been imposed to the university. So actually the implementation of this motion might benefit both sides, the university as well and the student as well. Okay, I pass this one to my colleague.
Okay. Can we let Brother Ali first?
Can I add more? Okay. So basically, for perhaps many of you, some of you perhaps wondering like if we brought this issue, this motion to Parliament, and then somehow it requires the cost, monetary cost, and so on. And then perhaps some of you may think, what can we do actually? So what few perspectives that I can give to you is, first, the disabled student is a minority. If they bring their voice only, meaning like the minority bring their voice without any backup from all student leaders, so their voice is not listened by management. And then last time, Dato' Zabikade came to UIA during first time during Jumat prayer, and then we have discussion. So I brought two issues. The first issues that I brought regarding the universal facilities, or we say disabled facilities, meaning like friendly, OKU friendly facilities. And then he said, the Dato' Zamri, YDM said that, oh, actually, every university have the fund for facilities, for infrastructure and so on. But then when you look at the Prof. Akmal face and just smiling and so on, so we wonder if we ask for the infrastructure and so on, this technology. If we wonder, well, even ministry can say that, and then if we ask for the management, and management give the excuse that, oh, we don't have funds and so on. And the second point that I also brought to during the session with ministry, I brought the issue of the fence system. But somehow KPT want to interfere to give extra fund. So I think this is double standard. Why shouldn't KPT also give the fund for improve the facilities and so on? And the second thing I would like to add on is the accessibility shouldn't be physical accessibility only, but as for us, student leaders or students that we are capable to, at least we can improve for accessible information. Meaning that we do have different type of disabilities, disabled student. There is hearing impairment, there is visual impairment. For those students have different needs. So how we can tell them? They also use the phone, they also have entertainment and so on. So for those blind, they also serve media social and so on. So I would like to call on you, give the suggestion for you, at least for every postage, every posting in social media, at least we use the alternative tax, LT tax, to at least make it accessible for those blind, and also for the videos, at least we have the subtitle if we cannot afford for sign English interpreter. So I think that's all for me.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ready?
Okay, may I add from the accessibility? This is the thing we've done. We've done conduct a program between UIA and UKM, inclusive leadership camp. This program is
Disability.
thank you, Ali. Disability equity. Ali was also very involved with this, so give a clap for Ali. As I said, the only reason we know the facility UIA is not up to standard is because when we conduct this program, we put all of the students leaders who come to join the program in the shoe of disabled. What do I mean by that? We cover their eyes, we give them a cane. We told them to sit on a wheelchair, they cannot walk until the program is done. And I participate in this program. And I can say, yes, until you be in their shoe, you cannot know what they are facing. So like I said, if you agree to approve this motion, this will set a proper precedent, not just for UIA, not just for UM, not just for UKM and UPSI, but even for any other university. And in fact, we can invite other international students who are PWD and reduce the university tax by having a disabled tax rebate. Thank you very much. And that's, I hope that answer for the source of funding and answer for any other future inquiries.
Mr. Speaker, may I ask? I request permission.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So I'm interested with the word just now, double standard, or in other way we can call it discrimination to the disabled person. So, do you know that I cannot mention the name of the university, but that there's the university that reject the student with disability just because of they can't provide the facilities. So imagine that these students are capable to fight in academic, but because of the university cannot provide the proper facilities, they simply reject the students. So can you imagine what will happen in the future of that student? He studied really hard from secondary school, primary school, and hope that he or she can enter any IPT, IPTA, IPTS, but just because of there's no facility provided, they cannot enter the University of College. Then I think everyone should be aware of this because yeah, we are student leaders. So student leaders, we have our people below us within our community. So please be, beginning, please be aware of the disabled person that within your community. For instance, KBS, Welfare Society, try to observe what the needs of the disabled student in your particular kuliah and mahalah as well. Because I believe that every society got their own welfare bureau, right? So this is our responsibility. Thank you.
Okay, Speaker, I would like to suggest one proposal, please.
1 minute.
I believe because the parties that involved in this proposal are, I see that most of it are IIUM office. And I believe if we seriously want to address this issue on facilities for disabled students, I believe we have to put some responsibility to all the societies we have here, especially SU, KBS, and MRTC. Therefore, I would like to propose mechanism for all the societies in IIUM, KBS on ground level, MRTC on Maha level, and SU on whole IIUM level, to help review the facility in IIUM, whether it is accessible or not.
Mr. Speaker, President, is it a proposal or it's a clarification?
Clarification.
Okay, two things. First of all, one is about the funding. Of course, like university has fund. It's just a matter of priorities and with tax benefits and all for the DSU infrastructure. I mean, for the PWD infrastructure, obviously, it's just a matter of priority. Second thing, I would like to ask clarification from brother from KL. You mentioned about the facilities for PWD and the facilities for normal people. I thought if it's accessible for a person with disability, it's accessible for all. I didn't quite understand.
You know, I like you to imagine like different level of the building with different levels. So in which there's option of stairs and ramps, either only stairs or only ramps or stairs and ramps. When there's stairs and ramps, yes, they both they can cater to both. In which how would I say this? The non-PWD would have to go through all the ramps just to go to the next level. They have the stairs. But if, for instance, there's maybe we totally have like a stairs and just make the ramps. So in which the ramps has the specific degree peace all around. So then that is one of the examples in which the design is PWD oriented instead of PWD friendly. Yeah, thank you very much.
I hope we don't get too specific on the mechanism.
Okay.
So let's go for the voting session. What is it? Proposal or
It's a mechanism suggestion.
mechanism? 30 seconds.
Alright, okay, thank you. I just want to propose, because this issue has been recurring quite a lot of time, and then we go back to the same system. As Brother Ali has said, someone smiled. Each and every time kita bagi, and then the person smile, and then dia patah balik kepada kita, and then we have to go through the same system, same recycling system over and over. That is what I suggest for the parliament. As all student leaders here, we agreed to produce one statement to declare or demand from the university on where the funds of the disability units are being flowed to. We do not want any disclarity or any distransparency, and I think transparency must be upheld for the disability student, and we must support it. That's why I think it is important for us to produce a statement after this parliament motion today. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, brother. Now we move on to the voting session. The members of the hall will now vote for the motion improve the physical accessibility for disabled people around campus area. Now, please girls, raise your hands if you support this motion.
Total approved 61.
Does anyone reject for the motion?
We would like to clarify for previous, sorry Mr. Speaker over here, we would like to clarify for previous motion, it was actually 60 vote for approve because we overlooked on the votes given by the brother over there. And also the reason why total quorum is 61 because we have a new additions in the country.
Okay, understood. So, but still majority, so I don't think that it has an effect to the motion before. Okay, now reject 0, abstain. Okay, 0. So, therefore, the result of the improve the physical accessibility for disabled people around the campus area is approved with the total of 61 and 0 reject. Now, I would like to confirm with PC how are we going to accept the emergency motion? Do we have time to discuss the emergency motion?
I believe like the emergency motion proposed is quite heavy to be discussed and it will take a lot of time. Regarding the motion of emergency motion is on the check and balance on the amendment of MRCC constitution. So yeah, emergency constitution. And it will be the second one is already settled because it's regarding the amendment of the motion 4. We already settled between the SU and also the one that want to make the amendment. So we only have one, but we believe that will take a lot of time. So as we discussed, we will stop at 4 exactly. Right, let's start around. Okay. So I think okay, for the emergency motion, we can accept for another one more emergency motion. One more, yes, one more. For like the last, just gonna repeat this. By 4:30, everyone must have a repeat this.
Okay, everyone, this is not the end. Okay, now let's continue to our last emergency motion and last motion for the day. Title, check and balance for the amendment of MRCC Constitution. Now, I would like to invite Sister Ashmira Rosaidi to brother to whom it may concern. Okay.
the document has been shared into the WhatsApp group. Okay, go down to the history lane. MRCC Constitution actually has been drafted since 2019, way before the Darwish Waslan tenure. And it has been debated. And the newest drafting, like 2022, we have check and balance with IMSC legal affair during Kaina Madia's tenure. And then, I don't know what happened last year, but this year we would like to table it for it to be enforced for once and all. So you can see that this is only a drafting, and actually the power vested to enforce or make it ready is in the hand of MRCC and also of Prof. Akmal. However, we would like to table it today so that either Member of Parliament, KBSC and IIUM could point out your point of view. Okay, in regards to this constitution, basic thing, interpretation, MRCC, let's go straight to the function of MRCC. So we have narrowed down the job scope to the welfare of residents. And notwithstanding that, if we have any other program, centralized program by COP or MRCC himself, we can do it as well. And in regards to this jurisdiction from, encroachment of student union, because frankly speaking, this issue has been raised every year. And from last 2 or 3 tenures during Amani Shahmi tenure, we agree that this constitution will put the end of our rivalry or maybe issue in the sense like you encroach our jurisdiction because we don't see the line. So here, if you want to check the history, you can check with previous tenure. Here, in regards to animated inside Mahala, the gate, inside the gate, it is under us. And outside of the Mahala, the road, IMSU can go, do whatever you want. But if we have problems and also, or you have problems, you can bring to us, maybe we can do it together. But we hope any other matters related to Mahala will not be entertained or brought by IMSU. And we don't put KBSC here because we have no issue with KBSC so far. Okay. To highlight, we have two aims why we want to table it, check and balance. The first one, we want to highlight the jurisdiction. And the second one, I would like to bring your attention to Article 7 resolution. You see, maybe you have the idea that MRCC has been administered or governed or controlled, I would say, by our so-called advisors. So some media, some publication we cannot publish. And some things we cannot say or some things we cannot put. And it has been discussed, we want to go beyond that. And obviously our advisor, even current maybe, they don't agree with this. But we are trying to propose it straight away to Prof. Akmal or the RSDCE. So this resolution, in any matters, the advisor can advise us, but we are not bound to them. And we want to go straight to Prof. Akmal.
This one?
Yeah. Other things you can read and maybe you want to pose question, feel free to listen.
Before I open for, if I may reconfirm, you want to enforce this as the governing law among MRC, is it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now I open for debate.
Minister, Mr. President, can I request 5 minutes for us to reading time.
Okay, I give 5 minutes for everyone to read the Constitution. Thank you.
I went on last question. So basically, this constitution, MRCC doesn't have any constitution until you table it in this parliament.
We already have draft till today.
So this is the finalized and updated draft.
Finalized. But if we have or you have something to say and we can consider it to be inserted, we will amend it, maybe share it with you guys and bring it to Prof. Akmal to be
Have you consulted with your advisor, COP and so on?
They are aware of this.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
I have a question, sir. What is the source of power to endorse this constitution? Can you refer to the past or previous constitution of MRCC? As mentioned, we have no constitution before this. This is the first one. To self we are the power to endorse this constitution. Prof. Akmal, or the ITC, as we are right below them. But before Prof. Akmal, we have Mahala, we have principal, we have courts. So we want to, cross over that. In regards to the enforcement, I don't think it's a problem anymore because we can do this. We we bring it today to check and balance. Maybe you want to say you need to add this and that. You want to hear from your side. In regards to enforcement, I don't think it's an issue.
Question, sorry. So that's mean if this constitution pass, that's mean MRC no need to go through the courts and until what? That's mean you direct to what?
Yes, we hope to do that.
Okay.
The last.
To be honest, this is a break time for you to discuss among yourself first, and then later you come back with the final question.
Ini last step korang before proceed to the Prof. Akmal to the class. Ini last time. This parliament. Alright. Systematically ini, maybe I can add on. Actually, we don't actually plan to table it because if you want to do it, if we want to table the motion, we will do it before this. But just today, we think maybe the other members of parliament have some sort of view versus what we want to add. So it's an interesting
Testing.
I think the break time is up. I'll give you 2 minutes to finalize.
Everyone please be seated. Everyone please be seated now. We will start our debate session now. Everyone please be seated. We want to end this early. Okay. Now we will start our debate session. Anyone have any question to address? Okay, everyone else please be silent.
Thank you. I would like to ask a few questions. If you look at the functions of MRCC, and if you look at clause 4, it says that in order to separate the jurisdiction from student union, this shall be its jurisdiction. Geographically, Mahala areas will be under supervision and jurisdiction of MRCs. I would like to just go direct to our point that we do not agree with this because there are a few things. Number one, student union was established in order to cater the interests of students, regardless of where they are. Like we just discussed, doesn't matter, even if you are in kampung and you are banjing, we are supposed to help you. That is our duty. So I don't think we can limit ourselves only to the road after Mahala or Mahala issues. Number two, the precedent that has been set is that we have actually catered to quite a number of Mahala issues, and one of the biggest one was the RSD issue in the beginning of the semester. You can check out IIUM Instagram page, or we can show you all our records that we, the officers, gave our transportations in order to transport students who did not have Mahala, and we offered our offices and also building in order for the students to stay there. So I do not think that you will have exclusive power over there, and that this clause saying that geographically Mahala areas will be under the supervision and jurisdiction of MRC. And if such issue cannot be resolved by MRCC, the MRCC shall have a collaboration with student union to resolve such issue. I think we have been acting in good faith that when student union thinks that it's something to do with Mahala, of course we approach MRCC, but I do not think that we need permission in order to handle any student interest affairs, regardless of where they are again. And also, according to our shared governance, which our Secretary General will be explaining.
Okay, to add, Secretary General, I wish to speak. Referring to the Article 21 of IIUM SU Constitution, the shared governance article, paragraph 4, the association shall also have the right to cooperate with the Mahala Representative Committee and Mahala Representative Coordination Council to to resolve any residential and accommodation issues at the Mahala in the best interest of the student. Same goes as well as the SC in the article in paragraph 3. But to highlight here, this constitution has been endorsed by the members of the parliament already, which is the MRCC, MRC, KBSC, and also student union will be the shared governance to settle on pertaining the students' issues. That's it.
And shared governance is not exclusive to restriction over any matter. It is actually shared everywhere. Within Mahala, outside Mahala, within KDS, outside KDS. But of course, because we're acting in good faith, if KDS issues, we ask KDS to settle, we don't interfere. If Mahala issues, Mahala usually settle. But if people come to us, if students come to us, we cannot just say, oh, you just go to Mahala. That's very typical government behavior, So like, oh, pergi Jabatani. We can offer help, we do the help. So that's why I don't think there's any bad faith here. I just think somehow we have MOU with we already have an MOU with the university board, and it says basically we are the highest student body council, and a highest student body council shouldn't limit themselves to any particular department or any particular issue only. So that is our opinion on this. So I think we would suggest that you amend this part if you were to agree.
As I wish to speak. Okay. So, me personally, I totally agree with the president. And in the jurisdiction part, I think if we were to limit the student union, if we start by Mahala, next kuliah we claim for that. So I think I agree if we amend a little bit on this part. But what we are focusing today for is towards the focus resolution, which is we would like to detach from the middle person. I am delighted to share with you guys about Little Napoleon issue, which happens. So if you guys know Little Napoleon, so do your research by yourself. So it is what happening towards us, and we would like to be a little bit independent, not totally independent. And I think we agree to amend it.
If I want to reiterate a little bit, when I explain why I table this motion, we want to have a check and balance, and we really appreciate that. And please recall that I have mentioned this drafting has been done by previous senior, including your officers. And maybe that time they agree with this such provision, jurisdiction, and you are appointing a new one. And we are actually okay to actually amend a little bit. However, also I would like to reiterate that the method of enforcement is under Prof. Ahmad himself. So if Council of Principal, we want them to, they can still advise us, but they don't have the power to bind us. However, in regards to empower this constitution, you need to consider what will Prof. Ahmad say, our COP say, and our MRCC members. I understand that when you point out that IMSU constitution, it has been passed by the member of parliament before. However, it is different between you and me, in the sense that you are independent body and we are still under their Mahala, so we need to go there, to go there. Okay? In regards to shared governance, we do understand that we will assist you the best we can. But I would like to highlight the proper way. Just to share with Member of Parliament, our MRCC has received a message from IIUM officer. In a way, they want us to gather information on the faulty facilities in our Mahala. However, it needs to be kept secret. This is actually not in line with our condition as MRCC because we are answerable to our Mahala office as well. So you gotta think before you ask us something. Anything else we can help, like maybe you will help us in the future, like what you did with the transportation of students who have the Mahala that time, right? Okay, enough with the jurisdiction. The second thing we want to highlight, as Farish has mentioned before, we would like to remove the power of bindingness by the advisor. The advisor is still there, but only limited to advisory. Okay? last clarification, so you will remove the clause of the jurisdiction of IUM in the constitution. As for now, we're gonna let it remain there. Maybe after this, we will have a meeting, propose one, maybe we're gonna construct the wordings a little bit, and upon your, it's not gonna say approval, but at least we have agreed term, we will proceed.
Mr. Speaker, sorry. I would like to ask because the portion that has been bring about regarding check and balance of the constitution. So if we propose an amendment, we can propose an amendment, kan? If we all vote for the amendment to be removed,
But is it possible to do all the amendments again?
we want to propose on a specific provision. Only one is that. Yeah. But yeah, because I think that's the point of bringing the motion.
Why
So basically, based on my previous, after I listened to the motion presented about check and balance, to be honest, it's not even a motion because check and balance is something that you will do. It's a discussion between all the bodies involved. So I propose for the vote to be to accept MRCC constitution as the governing and binding law among the members of FD. That's what I thought it would be.
So the content will be?
Maksudnya, contoh, for example, if you all agree on this constitution, then you are ready to accept this as binding. But if you don't agree, if there is any amendment that should be made, then you vote against this motion. Understood?
Yeah, I think we should read that. Okay, dia macam ni. Tapi I understand. Actually, IMSU stands by MRCC fully. Each and one of our officers will back you up if you bring this to Prof. Akmal and you want to detach yourself from COP. Because we do believe that we are lenient and we don't want to be under the jurisdiction of any particular management or officer, and we would like that I think this is really a big progress and a big step for MRCC, because I think MRCC power has been curbed only because you are under the management. You can do much more with whatever you have right now. So we support totally your move to detach yourself and be an independent organization somewhat. To a certain extent, because you're still under the university, right?
Can consider also mahal union.
Mahal union pula. Jadi, we welcome you. Our only request is on the jurisdiction part lah. I think we might have to discuss more on that.
The request to macam to include the shared governance from the constitution to include in the constitution of MRCC. That's it, as general as that.
So basically, is it okay if we move on to voting? Because at the end of the day, even though this motion does not pass this parliament, you guys can still discuss and brought this matter to Prof. Akmal.
If I may add, if other ISU officers or JBSC would like to ask, would like to propose, you can be members. Okay, we take everything into consideration. Thank you so much.
Okay. If you all agree with everything in the constitution, then you vote for this in favor of this motion. If you have any amendment that you feel that you don't like this provision, you want to change some part of this constitution, then vote against this motion.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker, may I speak? I'm from Kuantan, Mahalah Al-Wali. I think like, I feel like as one and only representative from Kuantan, especially Mahalah out of three, and the only boy is Mahalah in Kuantan, Alright, so I think like in creating or in establishing this constitution, I think it's good for the MRCC together with Kuantan and Pago to establish or to mention how in other localities we as MRC, where are we like that. I think like in this amendment, if I'm gonna reject, it's not that I'm not supporting it. I think that it's okay for us to at least mention where are we, what are we, okay? Okay, so I think like that is, I'm still on support with my MRC friend, right? And it's just like, it's much more better because in Kuantan, everyone gonna ask me, Ali, do you part of MRCC? Kuantan part of MRCC, you are three of you. And I cannot even answer it because we are different locality and we don't know what is our job, so like that. So I hope that through these sessions or through this meeting, we can finalize it, what our position, and inshallah for the next meeting, right? Alright, thank you so much. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, siapa yang cakap?
Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
If for those who don't know, okay, MRCC are all the mahalas in Gompak and Pagong only. This is what the precedent or maybe the practice since 2018-2019 because the the standard or the procedure is quite a bit different. But if Ali wanna get in, just say it. Thank you. I would like to get clarification again. So you vote for the original proposed draft of MRCC constitution.
Okay, I would like to propose again. Okay, so the motion for vote will be not propose. I would like to suggest to everyone. Sebab I nak avoid any confusion kalau kata this decision was published and Prof. Akmal tengok. So my suggestion is to accept MRCC constitution as perfect to be a governing and binding law among the members of parliament. So basically, if you agree, maksudnya this constitution is already perfect. Kalau kata you against, maksudnya oh tak perfect lagi. Dia still like kena bincang lagi. So basically kalau tarik balik. Okay, come on everyone. Okay, so basically that is my suggestion. Now we will move on to the voting session. Okay, hola.
Okay, hi everyone. So this I'm what? Okay, so what issue is concerning about on the specific clause you mentioned just now? Because we mentioned it in our constitution that the jurisdiction on the shared governance is like that. It's the extent the constitution we can just read. So issue basically we cannot approve this constitution because of that specific clause. So here I just want to remind you guys that if we approve that, we are basically breaching our constitution. So there is the problem there, which is why this guy here keep on screaming reject. So I just want to clarify before the voting process, the IIUM is basically have an obligation to go against that clause, where we need to go against the motion. That's basically the problem here. So again, just to clarify again, we support the motion, but we have a little problem with that specific clause. That's all.
MSAS. Okay, I think it's also important, I don't think this is regarding the motion, I just want to address what you. I think it's very important as well that you recognize the reason this is coming from MRCC. So I think the reason that this is being brought forth is the fact that they feel as if you are overstepping their jurisdiction as MRCC. So I think this doesn't concern the motion, but I think proper communication or proper discussion on this should be made in the future, not only with MRCC, with KBSC as well, because quite frankly, a lot of us feel this way coming from MRCC and KBSC. Thank you.
Okay, 1 minute. Just 1 minute. I would just like to explain. No, I really think it's just a misunderstanding between if any of our communities. You know why now? Because you know why we have so much complications right now? This is not a suggestion to you all. I'm just saying how is it like in other universities or in a union system. A union system is supposed to unify all students regardless of background. So you know what happens? Actually, the residential department yang jaga makalah dan sebagainya macam MRC, the KBS, semua akan jadi satu union yang besar. So every student is unionized so that we can handle. KBS punya part akan department, MRC punya part department ni. Lepas tu, sebab kita orang pun redundant nampak kan? Macam kita orang ada edu punya office, lepas tu edu punya ni, lepas tu dia pun buat benda sama, kami pun buat benda sama kan? Because actually our system is flawed. We have to admit that. The whole point is we must all be unionized. I hope one day that happens, we can all become unions and detached from the university. Since we don't get money. Yeah. So I think for now we just have to make it work this way lah. But we really have to stick true to our principles of a union where we have to cater for everybody regardless of who is in charge. So that's it.
Okay, everyone. So let's move on to our last voting session. Oh, betul. So basically, do everyone please raise up your hand if you agree to amend the original motion to accept MRCC Constitution as perfect to be the governing and binding law among the members of Parliament. Please raise your hands if you agree for this amendment of the proposal. So basically, to amend the tajuk tu, the original title is check and balance. So basically, it's check and balance. You cannot vote for check and balance. That's why I would like to amend the motion. Okay, please raise up your hands if you agree for the amendment. Okay, it seems a majority. Okay, so we continue with the voting session. Okay, now. Okay, so the members of the hall will now vote for the motion to accept MRC Constitution as perfect as the governing and binding law among members of Parliament. Please raise up your hand if you agree with this motion. So basically, now we move on to the second vote for reject. Please raise up your hands if you reject the motion.
Because we know that this thing can be, improved.
Angkat tangan dulu. Kira.
Kalau MRC nak boycott Ali di tangan-tangan.
Total reject 59. 59 reject. Abstain. Abstain boleh vote.
Saja nak bagi clarification tadi Ali datang kat saya, dia cakap nak abstain tu memang shock.
Three votes. Tarik balik right. Okay, so there's three votes for abstain. Yes. So the result of the motion of to accept MRCC Constitution as perfect as the governing and binding law among the members of Parliament is rejected. So I believe that's the motion. That's all the motion for today. For the closing remarks, okay, brothers and sisters, we have reached the end of our Parliament session. On behalf of the Parliament Commission, I would like to take this opportunity to express our gratitude to all members for participating in this Parliament. We hope that everyone here has gained important information from the fruitful discussion. And me personally, on behalf of the speakers, we would like to apologize if there is any inconvenience caused to all of you. And by the grace of Allah SWT, let us end our Parliament with the recitation of Dua, Tasbih Ibarat and Surah Al-Am. Before we adjourn, all members of the hall are invited to take picture for the photography session. With that, I pass the floor to the commission members in charge. Thank you for your attendance and time. We are hoping to see you again in the future in the next parliamentary sitting. Thank you and goodbye.
inform you guys. Thank you.
I think this is important. Let us give a round of applause to all of our Parliament Commissioner for their efforts in this parliament.
Okay, fotografer kita nak ambil gambar semua seat ke macam mana? Ataupun semua kat depan? Semua kat atas? Alright. Seat kat atas? Okay, semua kat atas.